Well lads, right, before we get into the video, a small little favour to ask. Inching very close to 500,000 subscribers, such a mental number. Let's try and hit it before the end of the year. Anyway, that's enough of that, let's just crack back into the video. Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, so, another Premier League game week is over. How is everyone feeling? Can you barely contain your excitement? Thank Christ football is back, lads. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but I quickly found during lockdown that I have no other interests in life. First of all, things got so rough and boring, I spent my weekends organising a fight club for mice. No wonder I smelt of cheese and shame for 6 bastard weeks. Anyway, enough about my dodgy life. Let's back into the football. And lads, Man City are currently in a hole of despair. You know, it's a bit like if you knocked up Katie Hopkins. Your life is over. Ever since Christmas, City fans have been desperate to press the restart button. With Liverpool showing no signs of slipping last year, City were desperate to just get back to level points and go again. There'd be no slip-ups this time. No casually chucking points down the bathroom sink. Yeah. Explain this then. This scoreline, it's a bit like seeing Elton John make love to a human woman. It just wouldn't make any sense. May I remind you, Leicester's form in 2020 has been on par with relegation. Since City beat them 4 days before Christmas, they went on to lose 9 more league games, winning just 6 of the last 22. And now they turn up the Etihad to stick 5 past Ederson. How? What? This makes no sense. Well, I'll tell you, it's because even after a decade of overspending, of breaking the bank, of chucking over £1 billion on Man City's squad, they still defend like a gaggle of epileptic seals. I don't understand this. It's a bit like spending £7 million to redecorate your house, and then after 12 years, there's still 12 leaks in the kitchen ceiling. Oh yeah, that's a great addition to my bowl of cornflakes. The taste of dirty shower water dripping from above. What title challenging team concedes 3 penalties at home? That's like pissing the bed 3 times a night, which I haven't done since 2012. Clearly Eric Garcia's scrum cap was bursting the blood vessels in his brain, because as a highly paid centre half, surely he was told you can't rugby tackle in the box. Just because you're wearing that hat doesn't make you a scrum half for goddamn Saracens. The same way me wearing a dodgy scarf doesn't automatically make me an art degree dropout who repeats the words male privilege about 6 times a day. Why did he even play? This is a guy who actively refused to sign a new deal at City. Clearly he hates living in England with a burning passion. This guy is a continental Catalan defender. So like Gerard Piqué, he probably views the prospect of living in rainy Manchester the same as drinking toilet water for breakfast in a Vietnamese prison camp. So playing him instead of John Stones. Guardiola, please explain that one to the fans. And you know the defending is bad when I'm advocating the presence of John Stones in defence. I mean, let's be honest, he spends half the time stumbling about like a clown with hemorrhoids. I know Nathan Ake scored a goal. Oh, well done. He also formed a back four which conceded 5 at home. Man City haven't conceded 5 at home since February 2003, back when they were poor and Thierry Henry used their defence as a dish towel to wipe his feet. Ake is held up as the next Virgil van Dijk. At 25, he's already played for 2 massive clubs. He's lifted a Europa League, played in an FA Cup final. He's achieved quite a lot. Jamie Vardy, on the other hand, the guy who wrapped Ake's career in a bin bag and force-fed it through his nose. When he was Ake's age, he was on the books of Fleetwood Town, with he and his wife probably eating their dinner out of a trough made for pigs. This was an appalling showing from Ake, but not worse than Benjamin Mendy. I don't get it. City have the most resources on planet Earth. They could buy a new left back with a click of their fingers. The owners could have gladly forked out for Ben Chilwell, and it wouldn't have made a dent in their budget. It's alright, they wouldn't have to take out a second loan in the house. Their kids would still be driving sports cars and being fed lobster for breakfast by their butlers. I don't get it. Mendy, putting him up against his counter-attacking movement from Leicester, it's like making a baby hamster fight a fully grown rat. As I found out last Saturday night, you'll probably be spending 6 hours getting cheese stains out of your goddamn rug. I don't understand. Persisting with Mendy, a virtual cheerleader in defence, when you're a filthy rich oil-run club, it's like getting a highly paid job on Wall Street and still choosing to turn up to work wearing bin bags on your feet. And Kyle Walker, sloppy throughout. Clearly he hadn't fetched his pre-match meal from his mum's house in Sheffield. Christ above, what a gambine. Yeah, Leicester were great and absolutely ran rings around them, but this was an absolute nightmare game for Man City. Pep Guardiola has immediately forked out £65 million to get Ruben Diaz in from Benfica, while also chucking Nicolas Otamendi in the other direction. Listen, he's finally a right-sided centre-back replacement for company. Is he any good? Well, he better be, because if Guardiola relies on this back four all season, he'll be sacked next summer. This isn't hyperbole or hyperbole. I'm not sure. YouTuber. This isn't me trying to make a shock prediction. No. Trust me, if City limp to yet another feeble title challenge, the knives will come out. City fans will claim he's gone stale, and the owners, after all that money spent to not even be able to dominate their own league in their own backyard, then yeah, they'll chuck him down the sink. Under this regime, no City manager has survived 2 consecutive title-free seasons, with their job still intact. So sort it out, Pep, because right now, Liverpool fans are probably preparing to christen their firstborn Brendan. Don't call your kids Brendan. It's a surefire way to get bullied at school. What else happened? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer squeaked to his luckiest win since that night in Paris. The Champions League quarter-final, that is, not Not when that socialite ruined her life. Listen, scoring 3 at Brighton, it looks like a routine win, doesn't it? Trust me, just like a former Sunderland winger, Man United got out of jail. Brighton were excellent, absolutely controlled the game. And if they weren't so wasteful, it would be a 3rd Premier League win against the club. And Wan-Bissaka was a great signing for United. But here, he played like a schoolboy who spent the previous night sleeping on a train. The amount of times he left Leandro Trossard free at the back post. And it was also where Solly March equalised in the last minute. I don't know whether he spent the previous night getting sick in the toilet. I don't know if he'd accidentally eaten some stale porridge. Or maybe just spent that morning shoveling pencils up his nose. I don't know, but what I do know is that something clearly wasn't right with Wan-Bissaka. Did he think the back post just wasn't his responsibility? It's like a school bus driver just thinking the brakes weren't any of his business. Anyway, United got the win when Neil Maupay inexplicably handled the ball in the box in the 97th minute. This is why centre forwards should never be defending corner kicks. They're paid to score goals, not clear the ball. Leave Maupay to try the Panenkes and wind up Guendouzi. Not be the one tasked with clearing the ball out of the box in the last minute. It's like asking a toddler to wrestle a cow or asking an accountant to crack a smile. It's not gonna happen. This summer all eyes have been on Chelsea, right? They've been the big sugar daddy movers in the transfer market. In comes Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Ben Chilwell, Edouard Mendy, Malang Sarr and Thiago Silva in a plus £200 million spending spree. It was a throwback to when Roman Abramovich first arrived in the country with a seemingly bottomless pit of money, chucking 50 million at Wayne Bridge just because he could. And after all that, they find themselves 3-0 down at half-time to West Brom. Frank Lampard could probably have drowned his defence in a toilet. They did well to claw back a 3-3 result. And despite the multi-billion pound investments, the 3 goal scorers for the club, all combined, they actually cost less than a Petit Falou yogurt. Thiago Silva though, oh good Moses, this was a debut from hell.
Oh, his debut was against Barnsley and they won 6-0.
Yeah, lad, he spent the night marking colleague Woodrow. Sorry about that, lads. I don't know what that was. For some reason, I immediately just felt the taste of sour cheese in my throat. Here, up against the mighty Callum Robinson, Silva was made to look like an altar boy after a night with Father O'Reilly, i.e. traumatised and in need of weekly therapy. I don't get it. Frank Lampard is a smart man, yes? He has an IQ of well over 150. That's just 10 points less than goddamn Einstein. And that kind of shows my level of IQ that I can't even pronounce the word Einstein. Lampard is in the top with 0.1% of the UK population, so he's not your stereotypical ex-footballer who never learned to tie his shoelaces and thinks Sri Lanka is a type of Indian soup. So I don't understand, why are you building your defence around a 36-year-old? Yes, Silva's had a great career, and yes, I realise he pocketed Lewandowski in the Champions League final, but I do repeat, he is 36. This guy should be earning a fat paycheck in the Chinese Super League, playing against strikers who only learned the offside rule in 2010, and probably Papi Cisse. Oh, I'm convinced he's never learned the rule. This is unnecessary. Silva should be in the middle of a midlife crisis, splashing out on sports cars and chatting up the dentist. Taking your first steps in English football when you're 4 years off 40. This is like Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement to fight a guy half his age. I've said it before, John Terry is the greatest defender the Premier League has ever seen. He's a Chelsea legend who captained them to 5 league titles. And when he was Silva's age, he was being bundled out the back door to Aston Villa. I realise he's a Champions League finalist, but having spent nearly a decade in France, it's fair to say he might have lost his edge as a truly world-class centre half. You're up against Premier League proven forwards now, Silva, not guys who spent their weekends working part-time down the local patisserie. What else? Carlo Ancelotti maintained his 100% winning record this season with a 2-1 Everton win at Crystal Palace. Good win, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored yet again, and Moise Keane probably feels like drowning his goldfish in a bath. Leeds won yet again with Patrick Bamford scoring his 3rd goal of the season at Bramble Lane. Right, okay Leeds fans, let's make a deal. If you end up finishing inside the top half of the table this season, then I promise I will personally get a tattoo of Patrick Bamford playing the violin. Why do I suddenly feel like I'm going to regret this in May? Lads, I got lucky last season. I was a Joe Bryan brace away from ruining my body forever. At least Declan Rice and Jack Grealish. At least they came out and openly rejected our nation. Bamford especially spent 2 years telling Mick McCarthy,
Oh, I'll ring you back.
Oh lads, there's a reason why I'm not a fan of Bamford. I might do another video dedicated to it. Let me know if you want to see one. What I definitely don't want is to have this human pencil painted on my body for life. One of the most surprising results of the weekend though, I don't think I've ever seen such a group of downtrodden, disheartened football fans approaching a new season as the Hammers have been this year. Given an impossible fixture list, an empty transfer window, and most fans were already mentally signing up for relegation. Coming up against Wolves at home, with David Moyes working from home, with poor old Alan Irvine stuck in the dugout. Oh, you'd have feared the worst. And no, they win by 4 goals, with Jared Bowen scoring twice, and lads, it could have been 6 or 7. Maybe they should tell Moyes to work from home more often. I mean, that's what Man United did in 2014. I wonder where this tactical masterclass came from. I can just imagine Moyes tuning into a dodgy stream with a shaky internet connection. Christ above, when Bowen scored the second, he probably ran out of the kitchen to dance with his wife. On second thought, they'd been married about 25 years. At this stage, things are probably so stale, they probably haven't looked each other in the eyes since 2006. Newcastle, they grabbed the most unjust, undeserved point at Tottenham. Last season, they dug in a fluke, a 1-0 win at Tottenham's new stadium. But here, Spurs were all over them. Carl Dolo made 11 saves, the most by a Newcastle keeper in a Premier League match since Tim Krul's 14 at White Hart Lane in 2013. For some reason, Newcastle goalies, even the crap ones, morph into Buffon when he walked down Seven Sisters Road. Anyway, Newcastle didn't register a shot on target the entire match. They didn't even sniff in the direction of the opposition box. For the last minute, Andy Carroll heads the ball off Eric Dyer's arm, and it's given as a penalty. This wasn't a deliberate attempt to block Carroll's header with his arm. Give Dyer the benefit of the doubt, he's not that stupid. He's 26 and speaks 2 languages. He's not your average centre half who makes TikToks and thinks Africa is a country. I'm pretty sure he's smart enough not to morph into a goalie in the box. But under the new letter of the law, it's a penalty. Because apparently you now need to jump like a fish. Or jump like it's a game of f***ing whack-a-mole. It's ridiculous, it really is. The rule needs to change because it's an unnatural body position for a defender. Defenders crowding the box with arms stuffed behind their backs. Suddenly it makes the penalty box look like a funeral for your great Aunt Betty. We're going to see 3 times as many penalties in the Premier League this season. We're going to see handball spot kicks given every damn weekend. Great news for Mo Salah, he'll probably hit 40 goals in the league. Oh yeah, and Burnley lost 1-0 at home to Southampton. Danny Ings scored after 5 minutes. And then both sets of players just agreed to do nothing for the next hour and a half. I wish I hadn't watched this game. I wish I'd done something else with my life. Mowed the neighbor's lawn, taught myself some origami, experimented by taking a dump in a kitty litter box. Anything else but this. But one notable thing that did happen is that Jimmy Dunn got another 90 minutes under his belt. He's another Dan Burn, isn't he? Anyway, that's it. Last time in the comments below, what do you think about all the games happening this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.